games. She's 7-4, 2.55 ERA. Yasmin Stewart is 4-2, 10 appearances.
Hey, Taylor, you got the intro?
What you mean?
Like you going to the intro like you usually do?
No, I don't have access to nothing no more.
No, I'm talking like you gonna speak, like you feel like you know how you come in with the energy.
Oh, bet. Say less.
You don't need access for that.
PV Nation, the best nation, home of the 12th fan. It's the vice president. We're back in rotation. Live 12 fan 12 fan 1876. Y'all know where to find me. We got Zay back. We got Janaris back.
Wow.
Fellas, what type of week are we having?
Shoot, great man. Play two. Like shoot, we got off a fresh start with the first round. You know, first four. You know, got to win. Hey,
Great week to be a Panther.
yeah, that's a
Great week to be a Panther for sure. So,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Lit.
2025, 2026. I'm having the time of my life. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's people in this world who know nothing about whatever these old heads from Sutton, whatever these old heads from Grumbling remember of Prairie View, bro. All they know is championships. All they know was us going on the road and bringing the bag home, handing it out to the needy, handing it out to Sutton. Go ahead, get y'all stuff together. Grambling, go ahead. We'll go ahead and chop away at that debt for y'all brand new locker room. we'll take care of the plumbing bill with that. You know what I'm saying? Mississippi Valley, you know, you going ahead and you upgrade your facility. So I'm so glad Coach Byron Scott could. Coach Byron Smith, I apologize, could go ahead and bring a total of $4 million back to the SWAT force.
Absolutely, man. So much that can be said, but you know, I'm honestly, you know, I'm kind of in a state of shock at like it's very rare and very challenging to have your top revenue sports in football and men's basketball win right back to back like this. It's very rare, and I can speak for basketball for sure. It was totally unexpected when you look at how the program was trending the last few years, and also just really they hit stride, and it's like they made a few adjustments and went into a whole new gear, and that's the program that we see now. And so there's a lot of parallels as far as feeling on how we felt back in 2019,
2019.
2021. Those teams that were really at the mountaintop at the time for Coach Smith, and to actually not only compete, because we, looking back at history, we should have beat Farley Dickinson. We lost that one really close.
Right.
The tournament appearance we had in 2019. So to actually come back and win it, I think speaks stronger to, I lost the faith. Right. I've said that on several shows here and online. I definitely lost the faith in Coach Smith. Just after following him and supporting for so long. I'm now a believer again, though. I should not have lost the faith, because he is a great coach. And these guys are doing some amazing things. And so I'm looking forward to supporting even more, especially on tomorrow versus Florida. So.
But without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get into our first topic. Panthers have passed through the first four.
Man.
Dub over Lehigh, 67-55, man. What y'all thought about the game?
Man, I had an amazing time. Unfortunately, I had to watch it at the house, man. But just seeing how Coach Smith was able to rally the troops, able to get the team on the same page, and just go out there and show them how not only PV plays great basketball, but how the SWAC plays physical and competitive basketball, man. We had Whitlock all the way down in Waller County, shooting 2 for 15, 1 to 7 for 3. Granted, the Alvey, he had a double-double with 23 points and 15 rebounds. Other than that, we pretty much shut them down, on the offensive side of the ball. And, I just love the physicality, and I love the heart that everybody showed on Prairie View.
Zay?
I was able to watch this game at one of the many Houston watch parties, the one that was at Lolo's Chicken and Waffles. Great turnout, great vibe for sure. Watching this game, man, it was just, you couldn't help but be proud at the way they played. I mean, our defensive strategy rather was A1. And, from start to finish, right, I felt like we were a little bit cold. We got hard at first, and then we kind of stalled for a minute. And then we started getting into our rhythm, scoring points. And correct me if I'm wrong, was there ever a lead change in this game? Did Lehigh ever lead?
They led at half.
They
led at half.
27.
Yep.
And so
they were leading like the final 2 minutes of that first half.
That's right. And so, but from my memory and recollection, it was very impressive to see, because Coach Smith has always been a very defensive first coach, right? And so I wouldn't say points have been second, but I would say priority has been defense first, right? And
I would agree.
For them they executed really well. We played, against some what you would consider traditional bigs that gave us a height problem, a disadvantage, and for them to strategize and kind of really make it tough on those guys was great. And then we exposed number one on Lehigh.
Oh yeah,
we exposed him.
Hey.
He came in with some fanfare, and he was supposed to be hot stuff.
Like Waller County.
I mean, he couldn't stop nobody, and I didn't see him do nothing to nobody. So, I think that it was a very, very, very well played game. And my last 2 kind of points is just I want to speak about Horn, Williams.
Oh, for sure.
Earlier in the season, Terrion Joseph was the hot name.
Right.
Right. And to see on the back part, like to have that many guys on the team that can give you double digits any night, high double digits any night, is pretty amazing and pretty impressive. And we're going to need it going into tomorrow. Right. I think for sure, in my opinion, right, defense is going to be important, but I would argue that tomorrow offense is going to have to be. We're going to have to be lights out from beginning to end if we want a chance at legitimately winning this game. So
Yeah.
Definitely. And you know what I love about this team is you really don't need the stat sheet, but as you're in the game, you can relax knowing I got 4 guys that can get me a bucket versus anybody, right? You got Wells, you got Horn, you got Joseph. In the last few games, I'm not gonna lie, Lance Williams, the guard from Baton Rouge, I believe, 12. If he's at the top of the key and he gets that mid-range look, it's going in every time. And so knowing that these guys can get ISO clutch buckets, they just need their one-on-one matchup, and they know how to, kill people with the pick and roll pretty much. I think Florida's in trouble. I'm gonna be honest. If we're able to keep it close, and it's a 2-point game, 3-point game, Prairie has a chance.
Yeah. This is what I say. First, I'm gonna start with the game that happened yesterday. Like, the thing I like about this team versus the teams previously, this team we don't just have that one guy that's just gonna carry the whole thing. He got that support behind him, whether if it's not even scoring, like even rebounds, assists, playmaking, defense. And like versus the previous years, we just had that one hit guy, if you get what I'm saying, that one person that was just good. Like at one point we had, what's his name? We had like Devon, what's his name? Tanaj Pitway, yeah. Tanaj Pitway, and one year we had Javante Hopkins, yeah. Something like that, yeah. They were good, but it was just like the team together wasn't as built. In this, what I like now, these dudes are actually together, and Horn might get heels regardless, but Will's gonna get heels too, and even Williams, and that's what I like. And they turned the thing back around at the right time. And for tomorrow versus Florida, what I say mainly is just, you feel me, if we can, going back to the LSU game, if we can keep the game close and not just give up at the third half part of the game, it's just going, I feel like we can maybe shock the world, but it's just like sometimes the referees can be a big factor in the game too. Like at LSU, free throws was what the way they beat us, and the referees was helping them on that. And although Teron Joseph had 34 points, yeah, he had 34. So I feel like in this game, if we want a chance to win, and find a way to just keep the rest out the game, and boom.
No, definitely. I mean, from my perspective, Diallo and Mason, they're our two, true bigs of what we have. I believe they're like 6'9" apiece. They're gonna have to play big, man. They're gonna have to play, bigger than what they are. I believe that we're physical enough and a talented enough team athletically to go out there, compete, and keep it close. I know that we can go drop 80 points. Will we be able to slow the game down enough to be able to win the game with 70 to 80 points, or will it become somewhat of a shootout? That's one thing that I'll be looking at and seeing what the strategy is going into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would like to see us, like I said, speaking on the offensive side of things, is take more attempts at shots. I understood that the game on Wednesday, it seemed, at least the strategy was, we need to eat as much clock whenever we have the ball as we can, and then convert and make those points, and then get back on defense, right? I don't know that that's going to be something that milking the clock, yes, but taking more attempts to keep up with Florida is going to be very, very key. These guys are pretty accurate, especially from the perimeter, and that's not necessarily a strong point for us unless we get hot. And tomorrow we need to get hot, extremely hot. So if we can start and start fast, get a comfortable lead, kind of control the game that way, I really do legitimately believe we have a shot at beating Florida. And just another little stat: there's only been 2 16 seeds to win versus a 1 seed, so we would really have a chance to really make some serious history.
Man,
we would be the first HBCU to do it, and we would be really the first team in the South part of the United States to do it. Because the only 2 teams that do it from a 16 seed is UMBC a couple years ago and Farley Dickinson. And so both of those teams are up north. So tall task, but I think we have something that's pretty unique as far as our defensive play and our ability to build the ball that can give us an advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, next time we got. We'll talk about softball.
Yeah. Man, listen, just doing my Googles on the softball team, we are absolutely dominating the competition, not only out of conference, but it's looking like we won't lose a conference game at this point. I got another sweep versus Grambling coming up. That's what it's looking like on my schedule. Is everyone still planning to meet up this weekend for the game?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can make it Saturday anymore. Rich, PV by 3, I hear that, Rich. I don't know if I can make it Saturday as I originally planned. My schedule's been kind of up and down, and man, I really wish we had some light so we can play some night games, but that's neither here nor there.
Man,
that would be a vibe.
Tell me about it.
That would be a vibe for sure, but I'm gonna try my very hardest to be there, and make the game. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna be down there this week for sure.
Definitely. And just taking, just look at this, like Kayla Zaid, like her stats are crazy, right? So she's got 72 at bats, 27 hits, 12 RBIs, 2 doubles and a triple. I'm trying to see here. I hope I'm saying her name right. Deani McKinley, 70 at bats, 22 hits. She's got 11 RBIs, a home run, a triple, and 2 doubles. Like, we are absolutely tearing the ball up. Team batting average above 300 at the moment. We got a lot of all SWAC contenders on this roster, man. This is a loaded PV Lady Panther squad.
Facts. Speaking of that, we got SWAC player of the week.
Okay. I'm not surprised at the names that I'm seeing right here for the players of the week, to be honest. Just given the games, I can't wait to see him in person. We're going to try to get out there on Saturday. I had some things planned in advance, so I'll see if I could wrap that up and get out there. Man, be ready to see some run rules this weekend.
Oh yeah, facts for sure. Co-pitcher Kayla Adams,
right?
She been on fire. I know I watched her when they came up here and played Sam Houston, got the upset, beat them.
Yeah, her and Yasmin Stewart. Yasmin Stewart's having a pretty good year too. She's like 4-2, I believe. ERA is at about 4.5, but she's stacking it up in the win column, and so we're loaded on offense and defense, man. We're looking really, really good.
Yeah, and Mia Nunez. Oh yeah, she been killing it too. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't watch her since her freshman year when I was a senior and all that PV. So I've been knowing how she is. She good with that bat. And she good in the outfield for sure. Like she been killing it for sure.
Yeah, she's definitely been giving us the best hitting performance for sure. What? Her slugging percentage is a 764, by the way. She's got 5 home runs on the year, 26 RBIs, 3 triples, 2 doubles,
Mhm.
with 25 hits, been 347. So she's having an MVP caliber year, player of the year.
Yeah, Prairie View team, like it's like they getting dominant. Like I want to ask y'all a question though. Like, do y'all feel like this possibly could be like the best softball team that came through?
In Bland's tenure, like it's a PB
Uh,
history.
I could say yes
Possibly.
due to the out of conference wins.
Yeah,
But what they would have to do is
win as well.
win regular and the tournament. I think that's going to be what differentiates
Mm-hmm.
between the two. Because the one my senior year in 2018, when they won that one, if I'm correct, they were like a 8th seed. They were a lower seed then, and they won the tournament. And
Yeah,
then I think the previous one, everybody knew we were going to win. So.
yeah, they were
Um,
number one that year.
I think for me, yes, it would be winning the tournament and the regular season in the same year because I don't think they've done that.
mhm.
Bland, Goat Bland, right?
They did that. They did that before.
He don't know that,
King Bland, King
but
Bland.
that's what I call him. You know what I mean? Right? But and Coach Lane, by the way. Yeah,
Yep,
Coach Lane.
yep. Shout out Coach Lane.
Um, I think for me, this is probably our strongest shot at winning, like upsetting a higher seed in the NCAA tournament. Now, obviously, we have to get there, but to me, that would, in my opinion, that would open the floodgates for recruiting for our program even further. I mean, we would that honestly, that would be the icing on the cake for the type of run our athletic department's on right now. If we were to win a softball NCAA, like win the SWAC, win the tournament, and then win an NCAA tournament, just the first round, the first series or whatever.
Yeah,
Dude, that would be major. That would be because I don't think any other program has ever done it.
yeah,
No,
facts.
absolutely not.
And the way I see it, if we can beat U of H, we can beat Sam Houston, we can beat UL, Lafayette, all three really, really good programs, right? It's not totally impossible to sneak a really good team, pull it on out. So,
yeah, definitely. We just got to stay healthy at this point, and everybody just stays clicking. I think once the PV12 get out there and we start raising chaos in those stands and really give them that home field advantage they need, I think it's going to be smooth sailing for the rest of the year. And they just stay hungry.
Oh yeah. For me, I feel like it possibly can be the best team because just think about it like this: at what it was back in 23, because I was paying attention to them in 22 and 23. So I know in 22 we started that season 0-16, like we lost 16 straight, end up winning the tournament. 20 in 2023, the very next year. By the way, I was their graphic designer also, but and made their championship search. But yeah, and they were number one seed in the regular season, won the regular season champions. Along with that, they only lost one game that season in the SWAC. And y'all want to know what I heard? I talked to one of the former players. Y'all heard of Caitlin Massey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was talking to her at the Sam Houston game because her and her friend was there. So I was wondering, like, I never got a real reason on why they purposely lost to Texas Southern that day, that game, because like they could have swept them and swept the whole West, but I found they say it's like a theory that they coach had. They feel like they wanted them to lose one time just to make it feel like how it felt to lose in SWAC. Gave them the reason how to lose in SWAC.
Yeah. Well, we won't need that this year.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and win them all this year. We don't need it. Let's save our losses for the postseason.
Yeah, but yeah, back to that though, like I feel like they keep that momentum going because the other two teams I say up there with them is in the East, which is Bethune and not Grambling, Bethune and FAMU. They got some good teams also, but I feel like for the most part, our girls can win this, especially with the out of conference wins too. Well, I know in 23 we had a out of conference win. We have a doubleheader versus UIW, and we got the dub over them twice. But I feel like with these quality wins, I feel like they can go and make something happen because they're currently on the 8-game winning streak. So I feel like if they keep on going with it, they're gonna make something shake, bro.
Definitely, I definitely agree. They're going to be a fun watch this year. And shoot, the type of run AD Golf having right now,
Yeah.
he's gonna be pulling up in that Bentley next fall.
I'm sure the budget requests whenever they meet the leadership meetings at PV. Very interesting. Because I mean, honestly, there's a legit, like, how do we pay these folks even more? Like, how do we, I've heard some rumblings of a big part of, for just taking it to basketball for a second, back to that real quick, a big part of why it was so important for Coach Smith to get that 17th game for the automatic extension, which was the win over Bethune-Cookman. I think either Bethune-Cookman or Alabama A&M made A&M, right? Was also, there was talks about, okay, moving forward, these guys didn't have any NIL for this season, but it was, I think it's, like I said, these are just rumors with back channel information that NIL, like an NIL package, rev share or whatever, for the upcoming season for basketball would be, in the fold, right, to give them a little bit more to work with. And so if he's able to do this with no NIL, right, having an NIL, a lot more time, most likely a new contract, so even beyond just the extension, is probably precedent here for sure. And it's kind of like we're winning with all the stuff, but as we win, we want to keep winning, and that's going to require not only like fan donor support, right, but also university increased support, even beyond what they've already done to get us to this point, because we have had an increase. So I'm excited to see that, because that's, we in my opinion, right, we do have the capacity to do it. It's just about getting it done. So
100%. I mean, even just this week can, it kind of shows you the growth in the fan base that we've had, right? We've had multiple watch parties in multiple locations across Houston. Then also, I'm getting more fan engagement on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. So the brand is growing, the fan base is growing. We just need that to reflect at all of our home games. Well, not even the home games, right? These road games, these games in Atlanta, the random games in Alabama, right? These tournament and postseason games as well. And I think our outreach is really having an effect. Now, will it reflect in these season tickets after renewals and everything finally goes on sales for new tickets, season tickets? That will be something to see, but I'm very hopeful that some marketing will come out and we're able to really get behind that and push that for our coach. Well, really all our coaches.
Next topic. What's going wrong?
Oh, PV baseball. I mean, you fired your previous coach very, very late going into the school year, right? Like in pretty much late July, almost August at that time. And then, that team was already depleted, lost a lot of seniors. And then, the coach goes into a situation where when we're talking about scholarships, right, we're only at about 6.5. So it's really, really hard to put together, a team with all these different issues going on at the same time. I think it just needs some gelling. It needs some time. We have some good individual players. From what I've seen, right? Our pitching has to do better as a unit, as an entire, 15-person pitching unit. That side of the ball has to get better, averaging 9 runs a game. I didn't get a chance to look at the walks. I'm really interested in seeing that. I'm really interested in seeing our ball to strike ratio. From the few games that I was able to watch, we're starting all of our at bats behind in the count. We tend to walk a lot of guys, and we tend to throw balls right down the middle at the wrong time. But I think as we get into SWAC play and we gain that confidence, it'll be a little bit different. And also with our bats, right? Well, we get a lot of hits. We consistently put the ball in play. Our problem is when we have runners in scoring position, we're just not getting those clutch hits that we need in order to put 7 runs, 8 runs, 9 runs consistently in ball games.
I'm generally speaking, I believe in Coach Doolin. I think he's a great coach. I think staff is good. I think we even have good players, right? I do agree that our pitching it is an area where we could improve and get stronger. But also, I think the issue with our program, and kind of has been the issue, is money, right?
Yeah.
Really, like you said, increasing those scholarships. There's not a huge NIL presence in the SWAC, from my understanding, in baseball, but there are some instances, right, where that's happening, and also just the scholarship, and we're being out programmed, in my opinion, from a resource perspective. So it's kind of hard to determine how good our baseball program is or can be,
Right.
Just off of wins and losses, because it's not like our revenue sports like basketball and football, who are highly resourced, right? They pretty much have the full allotment. Actually, they do, from what I was told, in NIL offerings, right? It's, hey, this is what we're working with because it's a non-revenue sport, and so that's an AD golf admin kind of leadership decision on how we're going to navigate that moving forward. Naturally, I don't think we charge for games currently as it is. I think that's something that we could possibly explore just to bring some additional dollars into the door, because we actually have some pretty well attended games, right? In my opinion, for softball and baseball, whenever I turn on the stream, it's usually pretty well attended. I know some of the students, etc., but that's one thing that I think is just money. I think money is kind of holding us hostage for what we could actually be as a baseball program. So,
thanks.
No, definitely. And like I said, anytime a sport like baseball goes through that transition, SWAC baseball specifically is not like football, basketball, portal-wise at this given time, right? A coach isn't just going to drop in and an influx of talent is going to come in or leave the program, right? It's still, we're still in about, the ages pre-COVID, where you still got to, really build your program and have those pipelines in your high schools and JUCO programs, and really just build that out. Now, I do think that after a full year in the program, he will be able to catch up, and next year we'll really be able to see what's going on. But he literally came in August, didn't have a chance to recruit or literally do anything. So, I would at least like to see him get a recruiting class under his belt, and just a fair shot at it.
Yeah.
Now, some of those wins in the record are SWAC wins. We started off really with really, really strong performances at the MLB tournament. Right. And so I think that if we can get into a groove as the season goes on, and it's all about the tournament, right? You know, with coach coming in late, my personal expectation is not for them to, you know, I would love for them to win the regular season, or I guess they have SWAC West, right? In baseball, but my expectation is that, hey, let's get to the tournament and let's try to make a run then. And if we can do that, right, then I think he would be doing more with less. So not less talent, but like I said, the resources thing. So
yeah, I agree. Like I'm not gonna hold him to like big expectation. Like you said, he came in here in August, so he really didn't have much to work with. Now, when that next year come and when he get, you feel me, get his feet wet and get go through off season recruiting and all that stuff, yeah, that's when Punch Time come in. Like, let me see what you can do, what you can do for this program, what you can change around, what we hired you for. So yeah, that's just what I got to say. I ain't really got much. Anything for y'all? Or was
That's about it on my end.
say?
nah, man, I'm just like I said, for all the Panthers out there, for tomorrow, make sure you know you get to a watch party if you can. Host a watch party at your house if you can, and if you can make the trip, right? And you know, for anybody in surrounding states, please go support our Panthers. We need as much Panther pride in that building in order to pull off an upset. So
Yeah.
moving to football, which you know, listen, I'm more than ecstatic. My excitement, I can't really say it grows by the day because every day I talk about PV football and profession. Either somebody throwing shade on Twitter or
You know,
just put out a post, or like we have been in the limelight like never before. And it's we've been praying a long time to be in this position with a coach that's vocal, that's branding, that calls out the issues, that all the things, right? And it's so refreshing to see that our program is operating at a high level.
Facts.
Yeah. I mean,
Go ahead.
no, you got Janars.
I was saying, I like to see what we got going in. Like last year, everything came good, you know, maybe fell short in the Celebration Bowl. I feel like this year, we're going to go way full throttle. Like we got better players, you know. We got better players. We're going to continue to get better, you know, go through with what we're doing. And yeah, spring just started, spring training. And yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things in store. Kayla, you got it.
You know, I love Coach Jackson and his staff, man. My coach is so good. He's everybody else's favorite coach. Every tweet, I'm seeing the same guys from Sutton, the same guys from you know who. They're commenting on what my coach does, what my coach says, where he goes on his private jet, where he eats his dinner at. They're all in PV business, and it's a great day and a great time to be a Panther. You would have never thought that our coaching staff getting on a plane and, you know, taking a little $100 flight to Boulder, Colorado would feed families,
Right.
feed multiple people across the SWACosphere. Multiple videos have been made. I mean, they dragged it out for 3 whole weeks. You would have thought their team went to Colorado, right? For this imaginary blueprint of how to win a Celebration Bowl that really nobody cares about and you only get paid $90K for. We ain't go visit for that, right? But just with the news that's going on, I'm seeing the program, I'm seeing the videos, I'm seeing the work that we're putting in. When we actually get to put those pads on, I cannot wait to sneak into to spring practice, boy. I can't wait to see the quarterback battles that we're gonna have. I can't wait to see our loaded running back room. And I can't wait to see the additions we have in our linebacker room, and seeing how, you know, these linebackers are going to fill the shoes of, the SWAC champions that came before them. So we got some new additions that also came in. Miss Shay Taylor as our assistant GM, and then we also have Coach Manny Martinez from Texas A&M Kingsville joining us as our run game coordinator and O-line coach.
Man, I'm so excited about these additions, right? First, I want to, congratulate and thank Coach Carlson, our previous O-line coach, for all that he's contributed. He's a champion, a championship coach, and what an opportunity to be promoted to offensive coordinator at Valdosta State and to go back to Valdosta to, take a next step in his career. And so we're wishing him the best. And I'm also equally excited for Coach Manny Martinez coming in because the understanding is that he has a really strong relationship with Coach Jackson. They go way back. And I think this will be, just hand and glove kind of fit where we won't skip a beat and we'll be able to, continue the level of excellence and probably bring some different perspective, be it that Coach Martinez is coming from Texas A&M Kingsville. And then Shay Taylor coming from Arkansas. When's the last time we had a coach come from an FBS program to do anything in our program?
Man.
And so the Power Five at that, right? And so to have a GM is great at our level. That's you're on the cutting edge, but to have an assistant GM, that shows a level of depth and brevity that they're going to out-program our opponents well before we actually play them, right? This is continues to be the largest coaching staff in PB history, and probably the largest coaching staff in the conference in all of HBCU football, and for sure one of the largest staffs in FCS football. So, Coach, said at his press conference, we want to compete at a high level so that way we're not only just SWAC good, but FCS national good. And This is just a re-emphasis and reinforces what he promised he would do and what we were looking to do on the Hill.
Yeah, I feel happy about the new additions on the team. Just can't wait to see what they got in store, what changes they're gonna make. You feel me? Just to make the team come together, and be able to go and bring that dog out, and when we see them on that hill, come out that hill, they know they're gonna get on them. So yeah, I just can't wait to see what they got in store. And shoot, I can't wait for also this surprise that welcome back Trevon Jones, man.
Yeah. Love it up.
Hey, I gotta say, man, I think, and listen, I gotta choose my words carefully. I think Trevon Jones is definitely top 3 of my favorite players at PV in PV history.
Facts.
And I say that not because of just his on field ability, right? But I think just his personality, how you can tell he really thoroughly enjoys being at PV. He's mentioned several times how he wished he started his career at PV from Jump Street. And to have guys in the NIL era, transfer portal era that believe in the institution, they believe in the program, they believe in the coaching staff, and they're happy to express that and use that as a leverage to get other folks to see that and other recruits. You can't today. You really can't even buy that. Right, that's something that's innate, and I really like that about him. I believe he's going to do great things, whether it's NFL or anything else. I'm glad he's back to have another year to run it up. Now that he's been in the system for a year, he's won a championship and to really make his mark because he has the measurables. The boy taller than the trees, right? And I think that if he can put on some size, keep his speed. the sky is really the limit for him. So I really like Trevon Jones, and I'm glad he's back.
Man.
Yeah, I've been a fan of Trevon Jones too, bro. Like ever since he first got here, like first he came off with his energy. Really loved his energy, and I like the way he comes behind PV. Like he stepped 10 toes behind PV. Like I even see like off the field on social media and things like that. Also, like one thing I like about his game though, when he be hurting over people, jumping over people, I'm like, what? The big dude, big tight end jumping over people. I'm like it's like he was one of my favorite tight ends for sure that came through PV. For sure, maybe my favorite, but like you want to keep it real, bro. Like, yeah, I feel like having bro on him alongside with Ethan John, like yeah, they will actually be a big threat in the duo. Great duo coming in.
Nah, I'm more than excited to have him back, man. Just and also with him having the chance and the ability to go play against the likes of Tarleton, the likes of Baylor, the likes of SFA at the crib, and he has a very active social media, and so just being able to watch his journey on TikTok and feel like I'm back on the hill, feel like I'm back with the bros in the locker room, right? Going to war every day, just putting on for our school. So definitely a great player. Him coming back, having another all SWAC player come back and join this team. I'm just thinking in my head, what's going to happen when these preseason awards come out? It's a lot of Panthers are going to have to give some grace to. So we're going to have a lot of people upset come this August.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I think that I'm not really concerned about that. People being upset. It's something to be said about. It's something to be able to say about having some key pieces come back and the continuity that this team should have. And obviously, if we get the quarterback room, diced out and who's going to be the man, right? And everybody else kind of gels in. It's gonna be on and popping from day one, right? I really hope Tarleton is not looking at this as, oh, they're not really about nothing, and we got this couple $1 million in NIL and a lot of other stuff going on, because it's gonna be trouble. I honestly, I think I'm probably gonna make. I'm trying to think about how many games, because most of our games are in the state of Texas.
Yeah,
there's literally no excuse this season.
Yep.
Like we gotta be rolling deep to all these games, because they're very drivable. I'll be at the Tarleton game, the Baylor game, the Dallas game, Labor Day Classic on the Hill, all the home games. And I'm trying to put in my schedule to get to the Alabama State game at the end of the season, towards the end of the season, in Montgomery. Yeah. So, and obviously hosting the SWAC championship. So, this man, I can say a lot, but this is going to be a very, very interesting team. And by far, it may be we haven't seen them yet, but this could possibly be the best team that we've seen. And that's saying something, right? They still got to go out there and do it. But from what I've been hearing, this team is going to be really, really good.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have a top 12 FCS team when it's all said and done. I think the difference between this year and last year is not only going to be the chemistry and our coaches having everybody in the spring, right, and also getting them through that fall camp. I think the big difference is going to be the energy that the PV-12 have this year.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I think we're going to show up in droves. We're going to be a bit more organized. We're going to scream louder. We're going to have more chants. The band's going to be louder. And I think, we're in the early phases of completely rebranding Prairie View and rebranding this program and what it means to be a fan and alum of Prairie View. And so it's we're rolling full steam ahead, man. I think we need to get our fundraising together and get a donation going, man. It's time. My coaches got to get paid. My guys got to get paid, man. We gotta come together and figure out what we're gonna do about that.
Yeah, man, fire drill. It's got a fire drill, boy. I ain't gonna lie. Yup. Fan power on decisions and coaches' grace periods. Kayla, you know, me and you talked about this the other day, bro. And I told you, I hit you on this day earlier today, and yeah, it was just a lot. Like, there's certain things that I see that I know people like, yeah, sometimes at certain points, we have to get like our fan base better. I also see like some bad things. Like, we had good things going, but like, yeah, fan base might have to, up it up a notch, and be support. And like, I see certain people saying stuff about being fake supporters or whatever, but people don't ever understand like how we coming from what we see.
Right. And I mean, not to beat a dead horse, right?
Yeah.
And we all seen what happened over the weekend, as we clinched our ticket to the tournament and all of that. And, we had a little bit of a civil war go on and, based on, who supported the basketball team, who supported Coach Smith, who wanted him gone, et cetera, right? Understanding of what all we know now, 50-50, hindsight is always, 2020, whatever. This team had no business being eighth in the SWAC. This team had no business playing the way they did until they figured it out. Now, granted, they ended up making up for it and proving that, not only in the play-in game, but also in the SWAC championship game. But it just goes to show that it is our job as fans to act like fans. Whether you're a fan and you think that my opinion is wrong, that is still my job. As long as we're talking about PV and we're caring about PV, we're passionate about PV, we're donating dollars, spending $30 a ticket for every game on this doggone campus, right? We are right for that opinion. And that forms debate, which also puts Prairie View where we want to be. And that discussion is everywhere. Now, what's the discussion? Prairie View's attendance. What's going on? They're so excited to see if we're going to show up to games or not. People are tuning in, constantly talking about it. So, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. But I do think our alumni and our fans got stronger from that situation. I think we all gained a better understanding of each other.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on that part. Like, I just feel like people think, oh, you're hating, like the stuff we say, like our opinions. Sometimes most of the time be facts, because like, shoot, if that's what we see, like me, I'm not just gonna watch the game. I'm gonna watch like how you play, how you move, what you're doing, and like how things going. I don't want to be that type of person to just talk about, oh, we winning, then just be quiet when we lose. But like, if I have something to say, like I'm gonna say it. Like I'm gonna get it off my chest. Like, dude, like we gotta do better. We gotta get things going. Like, I don't want to continue to see us, Prairie View going 5-27 or something like that. Like, bro, I'm not trying to continue seeing that, bro. Like, not trying to be like no joke or nothing. But it's just like people like, oh man, you don't support. You wanted such and such fired. No, bro, I want him to do better. I want dude to be better. It's like, if you want to keep it 100, this is what I say. I'm always gonna bring this up. Like, if this was any other school, them people won't have no grace period for no 11 years or no 7 years of losing. Like, bro, that stuff is out the window. Like, you go to a Grambling, a Southern, even a FAMU, like, not trying to throw people down or whatever. Like you said, don't beat a dead horse. Like the James Coley situation. then this was the fan power on decisions come in there. Because the fan power, so like at those schools, if them fans want you out of there, that administration gonna listen and want them out of there, whether their contract is over or not. And like the James Cody situation, the fans was the reason that James Cody even got in the job in the first place. He wanted to keep it real. And just to be honest, James and they thinking, oh, we're gonna run it back and stuff. Boom, things don't go as right. They quickly want him gone. Boom, they got the wish granted. And for Southern, like you say with Dooley and Terrence Graves, they both won the West title in the first year. But boom, the moment a peck of losing happened, they quickly want them gone. So that's where the grace period come in at. Like at PV, it's not like that. Like some coaches are getting the benefit of the doubt and getting more years to get better versus like at other schools, they're not patient. They're gonna quickly get you gone if you lose like 4 games straight or something. So that's what I gotta say. Zay, what you got anything?
Yeah, all I gotta say on this is just I think the baseline, right? I'm of the opinion that the main two stakeholders for any athletic offerings are the student athletes first and foremost, right, and the fans, the supporters, right. And I think this is something new in our culture in a very long time, where we're now experiencing more people being publicly vocal about aspects that they would either like to see improve, they would like to change, or different thoughts and theories that and sometimes it's just talking the talk, right? And then sometimes it's valid points that have to be, it makes you wonder, right? Like, okay, should we consider, right, what the stakeholders are saying? So my point is this: as our fan base continues to grow, as we continue to work through the culture issues and challenges that's unique to our fan base and build towards a better future for our fan base, I'm of the opinion this is not something that's going to go away, but heighten. And it will be new at first for PV and athletic administration, but we know that PV people are just prideful people in general, right? But getting those people prideful about athletics, right, and support and donating money, right, that's going to come with a lot of tweets. That's going to come with a lot of, hey, at the game, they're going to say some words sometimes when they see something that they don't believe to be right, or they're frustrated with, etc. But it's also, in my opinion, should come with match support. One of the personal things that I like to do is I like to be cognizant that you're not really going to ever see me criticize higher than my support. I like to keep my support and my criticism pretty much on par. And for the most part, my support is way higher than any critique or criticism. Even when I do have thoughtful feedback, it is typically well thought out. And through relationships that I do have, I try to get some answers on my own before taking something public to say, hey, this coach should not be here, or we are frustrated with the results from the coach. Right. I said at the beginning of this video, I've said it, a million times, but even with Coach Smith directly, right. My biggest thing was I've been supporting him since, I've been following this thing closely since his first, coach ball game, right. For the most part. And I've either watched or attended most of the games that I could. And bought the season courtside tickets for several years and drove from Third Ward up to 290U, right? And did all of that stuff long before I had a criticism to say publicly. And so for me, I felt like, what, maybe we do need to reevaluate this thing because we've been on a 5-year down slope. And I'm also the opinion that lit a fire, right, under our coaches behind that, hey, you know what? This is something that like people starting to talk. Right, they're starting to say, "Hey, you know what? Is that is that 2019 through 2023 Byron Smith, is he still in there? Right? Is that mindset, that eagerness that he coached with, that we love and we know, is that still there? And I like to believe that my form of criticism or critique is pushing us to be better. It's never just to be like, even if I'm calling somebody a job, ultimately I want the program to succeed, right? Who carries that out matters to me not that much, right? Because it's not personal. It's, hey, how can we win? Are we taking advantage of everything we possibly can? Like, what are the challenges? Like, talk to us, because we may not hear from you enough. We may not know you that well, right? Those are all things that I think as a fan base, we're going to see increasingly. And even as we, have different opposing views about what decisions were made in the past and this happened and how our fan base supports and what that looks like, we're still a family and we still have to work through it. And we still want the same thing. We want to win. We badly want to win, and we want to continue to win. And that's going to require championship, output from our student athletes and our coaches, championship support from our fans, and championship donations from our fans, and championship alignment and support from our university. Those 4 things are all required for us to continue doing the things that we've done. And then I would argue, knowing what I know, we've done a lot more with a lot less. And we have the power to do a lot more than we're doing. And we need to step up, right? We definitely need to step up. And we can make excuse for a lot of things, but not showing up and supporting is not one of them.
Right.
That's just, I've always said, even if you're not in the state to be able to realistically be a season ticket holder, consider maybe a portion, if not all, the cost of a season ticket. Donate that to the NIL fund or to the facilities fund, right? The excellence fund. So we can push this program forward and make that an annual thing. Make that something that you're planning to do and not reactionary. Be proactive and saying, hey, if you're a basketball guy and I'm a PV basketball alum and we don't have a PV basketball alumni association, right? So we can start raising money and connecting the bridge from older alums to younger alums who played basketball at PV to raise money for basketball, right? If your baseball's your thing, then do that. But, and that's my last point, because I've been on a ramble here on my soapbox, talking with Sid Brass. He made a very good point. He says, somebody asked something about why don't we have this, or why don't we have coverage in this particular area? He said, if there's an itch that needs to be scratched, right? There's an area that we can solve. If you're asking the question, more often than not, you need to be the person to start it, right? Because many hands make the workload light, right? And so as a fan base, I'm begging, I'm pleading, hey, you know what? There are things that we can do better and be intentional about, right? Like branding our university, supporting our athletics, and being excellent and productive Panthers in our support and in our giving, right? So that's just my soapbox. That's just me. Right, that's just Isaiah Wilson's opinion, but that's my thoughts on this topic.
Yeah, Taylor.
Yeah, man, I agree with Zay 100%, man. He hit the nail on the head. Just seeing where we were as a fan base from 2021, right? Of course, I'm actively on the hill 2013 to 2018, right? Watching my younger brother play football, right? Going to those road games, going to the championship game in 21, seeing the championship turnout in 23, and then seeing the crazy influx in 25. The fan base is growing. Is it growing as fast as I would like? Absolutely not, right? We don't live in a perfect world. But as we keep, as my guy Brandon Bell would say, adding dirt to the shovel, eventually we will get to where we want to be at. And but I will say it will be here before we know it. There are a lot of great things going on with Prairie View, especially with our enrollment growing as fast as it is. And, we should, as a fan base, we should have 2 goals, right? We need to be trying to get as many students as we possibly can, percentage-wise, right? If our enrollment is 13,000, if we're able to get 40 to 50% of that, Right? That's 6,000, 5,000 students right there. If we are able to get another 5,000 friends from alumni in the community, that's our stadium's pretty much full and packed at that point. So I can definitely see that being something that grows, and everybody will be able to enjoy our hard work very shortly.
Well, to your point, right? Because now you're talking my kind of thing, right? Um, just the conversations I've had, we have well over 80,000 folks who have degreed and graduated from Prairie View.
Sheesh.
There's even more that are like myself who are not alum, but Prairie
Right.
View adjacent and have a desire and care for Prairie View, right? Most of those folks, we're unique, whereas a lot of times you see other alumni bases who, when they graduate, they move out of the state of Texas. A good majority of those folks live in the state. So it's not within the realm to say to do, for 5 home games, to do turnaround trips from Dallas to Houston, San Antonio to Houston, or from Austin to Houston, that's not feasible to do and make possible. But we have to take the onus in doing those things, because there's also people like Sid Brass and Jared, who's in the comment section, that I think Jared may be a season ticket holder. I can't remember, but I know for sure Sid, not telling too much of his business, but let's just put it, he lives in the state of Tennessee. And he's at more PV games than some of the Panthers who live in Dallas. Or even live in Houston.
Live in Cyprus.
And I'm just being as honest and humble about it as I can. That's a problem.
Right.
That's a big problem. Because he's flying in for games, and we have folks who could come up the street, come up the road, get on the road for a few hours and show their support versus telling us about their support, or coming at just the convenient time of homecoming, or even Southern or a TSU game, right? We these athletes, these coaches, our program, we need to be excellent. Excellence needs to live here in our athletics. And that's going to require championship support. And it's going to look like you doing something uncomfortable to move this needle forward. And that it only is going to be effective if we're all doing the very best we can.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. One thing I got to say, for sure, I feel like we need to be more together than putting fuel on the fire. What I mean by that, like if certain people are doing stuff wrong, instead of trying to bash out and go out at people of your own, like you wouldn't do anybody else that's at Jackson or at Grambling or at any other fan base like that, but you quit to jump on your own. I'm not a fan of that gang. I'm just gonna keep that real with you. I just feel like instead of bashing at them and trying to tear them down for not having season tickets, having courtside seats and stuff like that, how about y'all get together, and we can talk things out and, want to actually resolve the problem instead of having the fuel to the fire and adding JSU people in our business and stuff and just trying to give them more ammo to throw at us. Like, oh, y'all see them people at QB, they argue with each other, they talking about the worst fan base ever. Like, don't I just say don't add more drama than what it is now. Keep that between us. Don't try to give other fan bases bullets to throw at us. That's just what I got to say.
And it's no disrespect, because let's not get it twisted, right? We had a little over 1,000 season ticket holders for football this year. Courtside tickets at the basketball games are typically, for the most part, sold out, right? Our home game attendance for basketball and for football could dramatically improve. But to the diehard Panthers, right, we have strong fans. It's just not enough of them making the intention behind supporting in a stronger way. I put it that way. So it's no disrespect to those folks, right? But it is, we do want to say, hey, you know what? This is something we can do. It's really not that heavy of a lift, but it requires people to actually care and actually show up, right? To get the tailgate spaces, outside of just homecoming to set the environment. We have a real opportunity to change the face of the nightmare that's haunted our program, in my opinion, of the 0-80 losing streak. Now, I'm prideful of the fact that those folks continue to play without scholarships, but it is challenging to know that we went that long without winning a ball game, and we've now built ourselves up to this point, and we can't do, or we're not doing it well. The key ingredient to make this happen, and that's showing up, right?
Yep.
Even before a donation, that just looks like putting together a little bit of money, a little piece of money to get your season tickets and to make some multiple trips to the Hill.
Yep.
We claim the love. So, like I said, we can talk about that a whole episode. I could keep going on and on and on. But we're thankful to all the Panthers that do. We're thankful to the Panthers that are on the edge about doing, and the ones that ain't even thought about it yet. We ask that you consider it and to make this whole thing better. So,
yeah, that's good. Yeah, that is good. And one thing is to piggyback off what you saying, Zay. Let's not try to run people away from wanting to support. Don't try to be hard on them, try to act like you their dad or their mom or something. You feel me? More so, give them a reason to want to come. Like, hey, I feel like you should do this and that. You check out a game, I know you might not be, So you never know people's lives, their schedule, especially if they like working like a 4-hour job or a 12-hour shift or something like that on a Friday, then boom, Saturday, game day, they might be not able to come. But hey, if we can act like he might can work around that, to don't try to like bully him or be like try to shame him for it, More so give them a reason to want to actually get more involved. That's just what I say. And that's all I got to say on this topic.
absolutely. Well, my last thing on this, and then we can move forward, is Jared's comment is very important. Yes, I should be able to make 4 to 5 games this year, not including SWAC championship game or Celebration Bowl. So Dallas and Houston shouldn't have any excuses. Jared is coming from New York, right? If this brother's doing that from New York to Prairie View, right? And other, and off camp and, visiting games, there shouldn't be any excuses, folks. We got to do that thing. So, but yeah.
Definitely.
Let's move forward.
Yeah. That's all we have for tonight, man.
Yeah. All right, Panther Nation. Go ahead, go to bed early. Hydrate. Get some electrolytes in your system. We got a big day tomorrow.
We got a big week.
And it's time to go ahead and clean off the barbecue pit. Go ahead and get that alligator from Fiesta. Go ahead and get that half an alligator and go ahead and get ready to put it on the pit because we're going to keep dancing after tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. We got a big week, bro. Softball, basketball, I think baseball, and we got PV relays too. So,
yeah, PV relays just coming up. I seen they started selling tickets for that. Hey, PV Athletics, reach out to me, man, because I'm getting more word out than y'all. You ain't telling nobody nothing, So y'all go ahead and work on that.
Yeah. The camp is gonna be packed, especially Saturday for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all we got, man. I hope y'all have a great night, man. Hope y'all ready for tomorrow, man, and go Panthers, man.
Hey, go Panthers.
Go Panthers.